Well, you got to train your people, right? If you're going to have a growing business, you're going to have to grow your staff, and if you're going to grow your staff, you want to do it in a healthy way. You don't want to grow faster than your capacity,
Mhm.
right? So you have to increase your capacity at least as fast as you're growing the business. And
Mhm.
so capacity matters, people matter. You have to develop them. How do you get the expertise that you need? How do you get people up to speed quickly? In our business, there's not a crossover job, right? We're hiring people, and it's not like they're coming from a competitor to us.
Mhm.
We're kind of in a very particular part of the market, and so we have to develop our own talent. So what we've done is we've had all the normal trainings,
Yeah.
right? All the different basic ones that people would do. But we found that the best things for us to do were one, to develop an emerging leaders program,
Mhm.
ELP. So that was really our first major breakthrough.
Mhm.
Then we developed a key vendor program, right? Where we train vendors as if they're employees. We
Mhm.
teach them the work, how to perform at a super high level, and give them all kinds of support, just like we would if they were our own employees. And then we went back and developed a program we call Leap Plus: Leadership, Empowerment, Advancement, and Performance. And this is where we went back and trained all of our leaders to be ahead of our emerging leaders,
Hmm.
because we actually were in a spot where our emerging leaders were better trained than
Yeah.
our own people. But I bring up all that because when you're training, you're developing the staff, you have to develop the mindset. And this piece is missing. Of course, you have to teach them how to do the work, right?
Mhm.
But it's a lot of our work. We're in a service business, and in a service business, you have to solve challenges live. It's not like manufacturing where everything is the
Mhm.
same. You're going to interact with somebody that's different. Each person, each location that we're visiting has a different manager who's in a different mood. Who's
Right.
all these things are different, and so the different culturally, right? People that live in Alaska are very different than the people that live in Florida, which are very different from the people in California.
Mhm.
And so you have all these different dynamics. And so what I'm saying is that we have to teach people a range of what they can deal with, right? They can't just be a one trick pony. They have to be able to handle different environments.
Mhm.
And what we've realized is that it all starts with the mindset,
Hmm.
right? Starts with the mindset. And then developing the work side is after you've related it to them. So in our old training, right, we go back in time. Here's how you create a work order. Here's how you enter in the
Mhm.
system. Here's how you dispatch it. Here's how you follow up. Like there was like this chronological training, and we threw it right out the window.
Hmm.
It just never worked. We'd go through all this training to get to the end. A couple months later, the person just wasn't a good fit.
Yeah.
So what we did was I said, hey, I want to throw this out. I want to do it where we have a buddy. I want to have a buddy system, and I want to start by teaching them how to utilize the client system, like
Mhm.
basically how to audit the work.
Hmm.
John, they don't even know how to do the work. We're going to teach them how to audit it. Absolutely right. That's what we're going to do. When you teach them what work is supposed to look like, right?
Mhm.
That's one thing. When you go in, and how to do it, but when you go in and say, "Hey, what's wrong with this? What's wrong with that?" Right? And have people start to use their
Hmm.
creative side. They don't lean on the things that they've learned in the job and try to memorize your answers. They just respond to it intuitively, right? And so what we did is we said, "Okay, let's get ahead of that." The very first thing that we need to do when we're training people is to connect with them as people.